So I often get accused of meandering, so let me get to the Daniel Greene puffy in the title first. So Daniel Greene, for those who know, was facing these very harsh accusations. I think he answered them back credibly in a few cases, but there's still some questions about some other problems he's up to. The basic gist, he got himself to put a Molly way over his head in some very questionable romantic activities. He's confirming, yes, but it was all consensual. But he's still exposed as a fraud, although now he's trying to recover his reputation. And then we have Puff Daddy, who's a much more serious case of abuse, and he's in jail right now. So somebody left a comment about my hypocrisy. They didn't say what the hypocrisy was or give an example. Well, there we go. But am I being hypocritical? Well, if you do tune in as a new or old subscriber, I do try to hold to some fundamental principles, namely that, right, everyone gets a fair trial, we don't judge guilt before innocence, etc., etc. Do I have to apologize to Daniel? No, because my report was pretty accurate. For the time, the information was very accurate. However, new information has come in about the accuser, Naomi King, whether she's credible. I don't think she's a total liar. This is not Amber Heard, but definitely some statements she's made are now questionable. So I have nothing to apologize to Daniel Greene, but I will do some updates being more accurate about the information. Now with Puff Daddy, it's harder because, he's in jail even though the trial has not officially begun. And you can make appeals to, well, he could tamper with the witnesses, etc., etc. But the fact is there any good legal reason for him to be in jail? Well, no. But I would say two things. And again, I will admit hypocrisy here because we've had a trial, right, way decades ago when allegedly he shot up a club. And to put it mildly, he really abused the court rules. So he should have been in jail then, but he wasn't. So there we go. So we have had him being in a trial before. It just seems like he doesn't really respect the legal system. So can the legal system be overreaching here? And again, if you're an older subscriber, you know this. I've noted my anti-war activism with Iraq. Related to that was the construction of the Homeland Security, the very Deutschen, questionable fascist agency, which was helping out with the Puff Daddy case. So I can be a hypocrite here because, well, if you're really against the Iraq War and really against Homeland Security, then, well, Puff Daddy should be free, right? I would agree. Yeah, I don't think Homeland Security participating in this thing was a good thing. I don't think Homeland Security is even a credible concept. I think it should be abolished. So it is hypocrisy to say the case should go forward with Puff Daddy, even though Homeland Security is playing a role. That is hypocrisy. You can get out of hypocrisy by noting a special circumstance. I have to be honest, we can do that. I can even make an argument for it, even an honest case, but I'd have to be honest and say, I think it is what it is. I don't trust Puffy. I don't think most people trust Puffy. We have video and auditory evidence not to trust him, so we are making a radical exception that we are judging him guilty before he's actually guilty. So, it's innocence yet, but I don't think so. But now let's get on to the main Aaron topic, where that's the legal, logical point Aaron is trying to make. So Nora and Aaron were getting into many different topics in their weirdo, narcissistic, fascist, cultish conversation. Now listen, I know the big money is calling Aaron a narc, but he can be both. He can be a fascist and a narcissist. I don't know why people are fighting me on the fascist label, because he's proving it every day. However, the main thrust of his comments kept going back to trying to force Nora to disavow DOA. I think he's got a weak case there. However, Nora, to put it mildly, and we're just talking about Aaron's side, which is ridiculous. Like, he was just not making many good points for the whole conversation. However, he did make a few solid points. So at one point, Nora's reasoning for supporting DOA was this, saying, listen, I will support anyone who goes out there and calls out Scientology as an evil cult. And then, and I hate to say that, but Aaron was correct. Both legally and logically, he pointed out, I'm doing that, but you weren't supporting me the last couple months. And Nora was like, wrong. And then she proceeded, well, I don't think you are doing a protest. I think you're doing a weird beer pizza party. And then Aaron struck back, and this is not valid, saying, well, you're overlooking the million impressions, getting the message out about Scientology destroying families. Aaron, that is not a point. That is not a logical point. It's not even a legal point. In fact, it just shows the grifting economy he's a part of, saying, I've got my impressions. Okay, so let me be like Darkseid. And the relevant context is someone was trying to destroy Superman. And he asked one of his minions, well, did you do it? And he's like, no. and then he got severely punished. It's a really great scene with Darkseid. Superman series was okay, but Darkseid was pretty good in it. Okay, you've had your beer parties and the Tom Cruise cutout, millions and millions of impressions. Not views, impressions. Well, did you destroy Scientology? No. So the strategy is not working. And you have to be totally honest. Nora's making a substantive point, but logically she's still wrong. So are his beer weirdo parties, especially after Jenna, because he had a conversation with Jenna and still did those beer parties, which is like really interesting and bizarre. What are they? Well, they're basically just silly time. And I mean, being super serious, any serious person trying to join this movement, and he's not part of anti-Scientology, I refuse to give him that label. Anyone looking at this as an anti-Scientology movement will just laugh and say, oh, I agree with you, it's a cult, and they'll honk their horn. And then what happened? Nothing. He's had a few fans and other people come by. That's great. I mean, a small group is better than no group. Are they destroying Scientology? No. So what did we get out of it? Not much. So why is that a defense? I don't know. He is doing better work than, say, Going Clear, a good documentary. A better flawed documentary. And we'll go into the flaws with channel members. Good documentary, but it got a lot of things wrong. Nevertheless, you have to say, what is doing more damage? Going Clear as a documentary, getting the word out, or Aaron Smith-Levin? Well, Going Clear. Because, Going Clear is not promoting fascism. That has many problems. It's not promoting fascism. Aaron is. I don't think Aaron has studied real basic logic. He's not totally stupid. So let me address him right now. If your solution to Scientology-style fascism is your own fascism, a stupid person is going to ask, why would we be doing that? Makes no sense. But anyway, that's his plan, apparently. We will replace the Arontology fascism for the David Miscavige fascism. I'm going to have to say no to both. So no. However, was he protesting Scientology? Yes. That is correct. So Nora saying, I support DOA because he protests Scientology. Then you must support Aaron. But she said, no, I'm not supporting you, Aaron. You've done many horrific things. But now she's letting that all go, apparently. But it is true. He did many horrific things. So even if you're protesting Scientology, which he logically, legally did, is not sufficient. You can, quote, oppose Scientology, right? There are many bad, evil, stupid people who oppose Scientology. They make fun of Scientology. They go after Scientology. And I know people are like, oh, no politics. No just calm down. But one of the Trump people made fun of Scientology. Now you might think, well, Scientology is one of the worst things in the world. I agree. Does that make the Trump person good? No. No, two things can't be true. Scientology is evil. But evil people can make fun of it. Even hate it, even protest it. That doesn't make you good. Right? It's a complicated world. There are various different fascist movements. They don't all agree with one another. Fascists can sometimes clash with one another. They often do. Like Mussolini was very suspicious of Hitler. Look it up. So fascists don't always get along. So I admit it's a very weird, bizarre thing that fascist number one is battling fascist number two. So the logical point here is Nora's caught. Right? If she's supporting DOA for opposing Scientology, she must support Aaron. But she said, no, you did certain things that cannot be excused. Then that's not the marker. It is not enough to oppose Scientology. There has to be something additional. So yeah, Nora's caught lying or contradicting herself. Good on Aaron. Does that mean I'm going to join his beer party? No. It's not a serious protest. Does it meet the legal, logical definition of protest? Yes. But what is he protesting for? For himself and his own cult. That's even recent on the record. He's trying to put Dark Tony in jail. Why? Because he's doing fact-checking on Aaron. Is that fascism? Is it narcissism? It's not democratic. It's not good. This is a deeper conversation. Can a democracy paradoxically tolerate anti-democracy or fascism? Oh, we're going through it right now. And some people say no. Paradoxically, a democracy must suppress a certain amount of anti-democracy or it will be destroyed. Aaron's proving, yeah, it does seem tolerance will have to have a limit. But that said, he did make a good point. Nora is contradicting herself. If opposing Scientology is the only value, then Aaron is okay. If opposing Scientology is not the only value, there has to be something additional. And Nora's saying, well, you did this additional thing. I don't think I can trust or support you. But now she is talking to the man, so she's all over the map. Not me. If you're going to get one thing from this channel, it's anti-fascist. Might there be emergency situations when you go full fascist? I've noted it. With Puffy, it does seem we are technically breaking the law, right? Because Homeland Security to me is not in the Constitution. Please, I defy you. Look up in the Constitution. You ain't going to find Homeland Security. It's not a constitutional agency. So should he go free? If I'm being consistent, yes. So we will have tricky cases where even fascism will be acceptable. They have to be emergency cases. They should be rare cases. But there will be cases. Right, and I would admit there is hypocrisy there, but 99% of the time, I'm going to be anti-fascist. So, did Aaron do a protest? Sure, he did his little fascist protest. Nice. I'm not impressed.